And here we are once again, Skip Sauntering Snippets number 20. This time we're going to talk about debt. Debt is not a good thing, generally. Some debt can be good. If you are a company and you are looking to invest in something, you borrow money, hoping with the idea that that money is going to be profitable at some point in time. If you borrow $100, you're hoping to make $125 from that debt. And you pay it back, you have the $25 left over minus any interest charges, and you've now expanded your product line or the quantity or the quality of your products, and customers want to buy more. Government, on the other hand, not so much. They're not set up to make a profit, and Lord knows that they certainly don't know how to take care of debt, at least at the national level. Most state governments have to balance their budgets. Whatever goes out has to be covered by what's coming in, one way or the other, and they will raise taxes to do so. Very few governments, or state governments, or local governments, will ever decrease spending. I know during the recession of 2008, my local government did ever so slightly reduce what it was charging and what it was spending, but that's rare. At the least, most state governments, local governments kept their spending at just above the inflation rate, maybe a little bit lower. Our national government, however, make drunken sailors look like sane people. I've been worried about the national debt for over a decade when it was $5 trillion, and I thought that was outrageous. And now, as of 2 days ago, we're at, once again, the national debt limit, and we're over $31.4 trillion or thereabouts. And yet we hear the same thing at the national level. Oh, we have to raise the debt ceiling. We have to protect the full faith and credit of the United States. Yeah, buzz off. I'm so tired of listening to that argument because, frankly, the only reason why our dollar is still strong is that we're a little bit better than everybody else in this. And it drives me nuts because they say, oh, we have to protect the full faith and credit. Notice I'm saying it again. Yeah, well, the problem is they say that to coerce the money to be able to lift the debt a little bit more and just continue the cycle. Not a single one of them, especially the Democrats, but let's throw John Boehner and what was his name, Paul Ryan, into that mix, that, they mouth the same similar words and they just go ahead and raise the debt limit and never did anything to correct the root problem, which was we spend too much. Government must always grow larger. Every dollar is sacred. And no, just think of all the harm that we will cause if we decrease our budget. People will have to be laid off. They won't get as much money. We can't buy as many things from American companies to keep the economy going. And on and on and on. I'm sorry. Let's at least make the attempt to what the Republicans did over a decade ago with sequestration. No, it didn't work out too well, but the Tea Party movement ran on one thing, that the national government should live within our budget, not yours. Too many of these nitwits in Congress and Senate and the presidency believe that the number of digits don't count because it's not your money. Too many of these people, especially the progressive socialists, believe it's their money, and we should just be allocated what's left over. It's supposed to be our money first. It is part of the idea that there is this notion of the rule of private. Turkeys can fly, folks. They just flew off the road. Like our national jet, they only went up. What happens when they come down is quite the thud. just like our national debt is going to do to the rest of us. Right now, just the interest payments alone are number 4. With interest rates now going up, it's now very quickly rising to be the 3rd largest issue in our budget. And yet, buried in, just about to say Obama, in Biden's budget plan, there's a little codicil, and I'll have to put it up on Granite Rock, that will expand our national debt by 42%. Now think about that. We're at 31%. We're already past the stage that we can't pay it back. And these dimwits, with their modern monetary theory, think that we can just keep spending and spending. Where's it all going to come from? It's like the hot air balloon whose envelope finally tears. And we're way up there. No, I think the time is for the Republicans, given the battle that they just had just to select their speaker, carry out what they campaigned on. And campaigned on it hard, and they ought to put it into place really, really hard. Stop the spending. Even freeze the spending. Even do not allow federal spending to go even half the amount of the inflation rate. Slow it down. And do the hard thing, and perhaps from the Democrat standpoint, the hateful, callous thing, the mean thing, and say, the government cannot be all things to all people. It's time to start prioritizing and say, we're not going to do this anymore. And yes, even as somebody who's on Social Security, who paid all these years, we have to look at everything on the books. Government cannot be all things to all people all the time at any cost. It is time for the national government to say, enough. It's time to say, COVID is gone. No more printing of the $4 or $5 trillion that has recently been done over the last couple of years, and say it's time to reduce. We're rapidly approaching the idea that we are a socialist government, given that government is trying to pay for everything and everybody. We've seen how that works. It doesn't. It's a failure. I'm Skip. This is Skip's Sauntering Snippets, and thank you for watching.
Croc TV.